we have some court documents that I think we need my reaction to. This might get emotional. In one particular gruesome episode that occurred only 1 month into their marriage, Miss Heard shattered the bones in the tip of Mr. Depp's right middle finger, almost completely cutting it off. So he didn't cut his finger off, she cut his finger off. Oh my god, what the fuck? Miss Heard threw a glass vodka bottle at Mr. Depp, one of many projectiles that she launched at him. In this and other instances, the bottle shattered as it came in contact with Mr. Depp's hand, and the broken glass and impact severed and shattered Mr. Depp's finger. I've seen pictures of that though. Mr. Depp's finger had to be surgically reattached. Miss Heard then disseminated false accounts of this incident, casting Mr. Depp as the perpetrator of his own injury. I hate finding out stuff like this, but it's important to find what the fuck. That's so fucked up. That's one of the most fucked up things. What the fuck? Hello everybody, welcome back. Sorry I can't film videos very often. I just got a new roommate and we have the exact same school schedule, so she's usually here and right now she's not, so I get to film a video. I think today this shirt is very appropriate to wear. I want to say a huge congratulations to Johnny Depp on finally being brave enough to sue Amber Heard for $50 million. I thought that he was just pulling a number out of a hat as kind of a little fuck you, because Amber clearly does not have $50 million. But it turns out his lawyers actually came up with that number because that's how much all of this nonsense has cost him. So anyway, some new stuff has been released about their relationship and things that went on during it. He has a total of 87 surveillance videos, which I think, honestly, Amber, how stupid are you to not realize that if you're gonna punch somebody, don't do it in front of a camera or a security camera. You lived in the house, you should know that there were security cameras. Come on. Anyway, he has 87 surveillance videos. He has, I think, 40 pages of documents and 17 witness testimonies and all this other stuff, and photos, I think, too. And yeah, he's gonna win. So it makes me very happy to think about. But one thing out of all this that pissed me off, and it's still pissing me off a lot, is one court document that came out that I read, and when I read it, I was just like, what the fuck? This whole thing started, Amber said one of the reasons that Johnny was clearly abusive, and it's just a clear example of how crazy he is and whatever, was the fact that one time he got angry in a rage because he thought Amber was cheating on him and cut his own finger off. I think she said some sort of glass piece chopped his finger off, or he just cut it off himself. And then dipped it in paint and then started writing on the wall. And when I first saw this picture, my immediate reaction was, why is there no blood? Reason being, if you cut your finger off, first of all, I have actually done that. I haven't cut my finger off, but I have cut my finger open. There's actually a little scar from my own stupidity. It's a long story. And I know that when you do that, blood gushes out. It's bad. And so for him to cut his finger off and then dip it in paint and start writing, for there to be absolutely no blood in the paint, mixed in at all, it's clearly just black paint, something just seemed off there. It was just okay, he could have done that, but it was probably two separate incidences. I don't think he would have done that at the same time with specifically the finger that he cut. That doesn't make any sense. When I first heard that, I was just immediately well, that doesn't mean he's abusive. again, that is a form or a sign of self-harm. Now, I know a lot about this because I've done research on it, and I've known many people who have self-harmed. Johnny Depp has a history with self-harm. We don't know exactly if it was psychiatric or if it was like some sort of ritual thing he did, but when he was a teenager, he would self-harm, and if you look very closely in certain pictures, you can see scars from it. It didn't surprise me that he would do something like that. But for Amber to take that and say that it's a clear sign he's abusive is just complete bullshit and fucked up, and why would you say something like that? People who self-harm suffer from a very, very serious mental illness. To say that if you self-harm and do stuff that's self-mutilating, you are crazy, you could hurt somebody, is just completely creating this huge stigma around mental illness, and it is just horrible for you to even say that. Everyone's like, okay, well, we don't know anything else, we'll just say that he did do that. But it wasn't really used as evidence, and people just kind of forgot about it until it was revealed that she threw a glass bottle at him, and he, I guess, tried to, like, defend himself and block it, and it hit his finger and shattered and chopped the top off. And there are very graphic photos of that, released by TMZ, thank you TMZ, and I'm not gonna post them in this video because they're very disturbing. If you want to see them, you can literally just Google Johnny Depp's cut off finger.
Side note, here I just wanted to add in some photos that I found on Twitter of Johnny's finger during that time period and the excuses he had to come up with to hide the fact of what was actually going on, because it kind of made me very sad and it's important to see.
So, what pissed me off was not only the fact that that is probably one of the most abusive things I've ever heard somebody doing, but then for her to do something like that, and God knows what else she was doing to him, for her to do something like that and then become this huge advocate against abuse and violence and speak at the UN and become a spokesperson for the ACLU and like all this other stuff. She literally in her Instagram and Twitter bios writes actress and activist, and she's been named a human rights champion by the UN. I don't know why, because she's literally done nothing. She just says she's a victim. Like, I'm a victim. Can I go be a human rights champion? Like, she has done nothing. What is she doing? She hasn't donated to any place. She claims to have donated any, like, money she got from the divorce to charity, but there's no confirmation she ever actually did that. The only thing she seems to be doing is going to the border between the US and Mexico, taking pictures with kids during surgery, making sure to get it on video so that everybody knows what she's doing. I think she recently went to the Middle East and started taking pictures with kids who clearly did not want to take pictures with her, just to prove that she's this amazing person doing all these amazing things. She hasn't donated. If she's a domestic violence victim, why has she not donated to domestic violence charities? Why has she not done anything of that sort? Great, you're helping the immigrants. That's a great thing to do. But you can't go and say you're a human rights champion because you're a victim of domestic violence when you've done nothing to help women who have actually been victims of domestic violence. That's a side rant though. Anyway, so for her to, say she's a victim after she cut her husband's finger off is one thing, but then also the fact that she was actually the one to cut his finger off, but then she twisted it to make it seem like he did it to himself to deem him insane. That just pisses me off so much. If you do happen to follow me on Twitter and see me keep posting at people, like, she cut his finger off. That's it. That's it. She is abusive. Like, what else do you want? Okay? For the people who are still debating that she is the victim, what else do you want him to do? He's literally suing her. People's main argument now, after they're like, well, does he have videos? Here's some videos. Does he have photos? Here's some photos. Does he have testimony? Here's 17 freaking witnesses. And now people are like, well, if he's suing her, he's doing it for money. His net worth is $200 million. I really doubt he needs money. It says in his court documents, and I really was denying this, like completely in denial. I thought that maybe he had just been dropped because they wanted to do something new with pirates, but the fact that he says he was dropped from pirate because of this crap that's come out about him is perhaps one of the saddest things that I've heard in a while. I mean, think of how many hospitals he's gone to dress as Jack Sparrow to help kids because they recognize that character. They're not going to recognize him as a person. They're going to recognize that character because they're little kids. And now, if he's no longer Jack Sparrow, how the hell is he going to do that? He can't, because Disney owns the rights to that, costume, I guess. So he can't just go to hospitals and do that without facing legal trouble, probably. And that's just seriously fucked up, that you're taking that away from kids. And honestly, Jack Sparrow was the only reason anyone saw Pirates of the Caribbean, so you screwed yourself over. And if that's the reason he was fired, I think that they should, after all this happens, they should, bring him back. That'd be a smart idea. Anyway, that's why I'm really pissed off about this. If anyone wants me to do a full video on self-harm and suicide and stuff, because I can. I have done presentations on that before. I wasn't supposed to, but I did. If you guys want to see that, just let me know. For Amber to say that because Johnny could potentially self-harm or has a history of mental illness, that's a reason that he is abusive and, because of that he's crazy and he does all these crazy things because of that one time that wasn't even him, but she made it seem like it was him. That is increasing stigma for mental illness, and I don't know what kind of human rights champion is trying to increase stigma for mental illness. So yeah, this is pretty short compared to my other videos. I just need to get this out. I'm mad about a lot of things, and that's one of them. And yeah, if anybody on Twitter still thinks that he's not a victim, you are so stupid. And I hope after this lawsuit goes through and he wins, because he will, obviously, I hope that everyone who ever called him a victim comes forward, apologizes to him, J.K. Rowling, David Yates, Warner Brothers, and any other person who has defended him or hired him and refused to fire him over these past couple years. Please go ahead, apologize now, actually, so you look more mature. And please continue for all 2 people who have not been blocked by Amber Heard yet, to please just call her out, because I've been blocked and I can't do it anymore. I tried to comment on IO Tilt Rights thing because I just was so mad. All he did was say, that information is private and I'm blocking you. And he blocked me and deleted my comment. So, yeah, that's what's been going on. If you want to comment on his stuff too, go ahead. Nobody is stopping you. I hope also that the UN and the ACLU and L'Oreal and whatever other companies have hired Amber Heard and are using her as spokesperson for God knows what, because I still don't know what the hell she's done. Please fire her. I mean, I can give you a whole list right here of people who would be better options than Amber Heard as your human rights champion, because they've actually done something. Okay, I'm getting angry. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of make a little ranty video because I feel like ranting. Okay, share this on the internet, I guess. Peace.